All right, welcome aboard the USS George Washington, CBN-73, Nimitz class carrier. Today we're flying with Puke and Dogs of the F-143. So we're in an F-14B. This is the Caucasus map, and it's the instant action carrier qual. You need the super carrier module to do this one. So a DCS artificiality that I like to do, especially when we're doing CQ, is I remove the Hud camera. It's up to you. Obviously in the real airplane you cannot remove the Hud camera. So when you start this module, they give you about 6,400 pounds of gas, which is a little light, so I'm going to go ahead and load us up with some more gas. So to do that, you get the menu going and hit F8 and then rearm and refuel. So our loadout is a couple of winders, tanks, that's fine, and will give us some gas. So max trap in the F-14B is 54,000 pounds. In the A it's 51.8, but in the B it's 54,000 pounds. So I'm going to give us 1,000 pounds over max trap to start this mission. So as we look down here, right about, that's close enough. Okay.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
So as we're refueling, we'll put the probe out to indicate that we are taking on fuel. Let's figure out max trap. So see our sister airplane here, Dog 114, loaded with 2 winders as well, external drop tanks. Can't tell if we got Phoenix rails. No Phoenix rails. So the base weight of this airplane and our airplane is 44,000 pounds. As I mentioned, max trap is 54,000 pounds, so that means the most gas we can have when we come aboard is 10,000 pounds. Now, each sidewinder weighs 250 pounds, so 2 sidewinders, 500 pounds, so that reduces our max trap to 9,500 pounds of gas. So obviously, if you have a TARPS pod or bombs or Phoenix and Sparrows, you have to factor that in when you're calculating max trap. So we do this before the flight, and then as we taxi to the CAT, the Rio will roger the weight board. So in this case, since we're going to have about 10,000 pounds of gas, the airplane will weigh 54,000 pounds. So our Rio, who is Jester, the virtual Rio, would roger a weight board of 54,000 pounds for the CAT shot. All right, let's see how we're doing on the fueling. Looks like we're complete, so I'll go ahead and bring the probe in. So at the field and ashore, the takeoff checklist is challenge and response, while the landing checklist is just the pilot rattling off the different items and the Rio verifying. The takeoff checklist differs at the ship in that it's kind of a two-parter. So you do the first part while you're sitting in the chocks, and the second part as you're crossing the JBD, getting ready for the CAT shot. So challenge and response. So Jester would say the first thing, and then I would reply with the answer. So let's go through takeoff checks here. So Jester would say fuel. I'd say normal feed, auto transfer, totalizer reads 9.9, bingo set at 4,000. And I can adjust the bingo however I want based on the scenario, field-based, shore-based, or at sea. So in this situation, 4,000 pounds is a good number. Then Jester would say canopy is down, lights out, and I would say canopy's down, lights out, hooks engaged, handle is forward. Chester would say seat, I'm armed top and bottom, and I would say my seat is armed top and bottom. Handle is aft. So in this window, although it's barber pulled right now, it would say MCO, which is Mission Commander's Option, which means if Jester pulls the handle, we both go, and if I pull the handle, we both go. If it was forward, and this is controlled from the back seat, it would say pilot in that window, and what that means is if the back seat pulls the handle, only the back seat goes. But in a fleet scenario where you trust your Rio and want him to make the call, you fly around with the handle aft, which is MCO. Next step is stab AUG, stability augmentation. So I would reply all on, because you can see the three switches there. Pitch, roll, and yaw SAS are all on. Master test switch is off. Bidirectional pump, and that's that red cover there is in normal. With the cover down, it's in normal. And then flight instruments, standby gyro, altimeter check, and they're all looking good. Standby gyro is caged. Altimeter is set. The rad-alt, I'm going to go ahead and set the bug for 360, which is about the time we're calling the ball. So I want it to go off then instead of at the 90. Then we'll finish the rest of the landing, or I'm sorry, we'll finish the rest of the takeoff checklist when we cross the jet blast deflector. So now we're ready to taxi. So for this mission, we're going to depart out to 7 miles, climb up to 10,000 feet, which is our medium holding altitude. Switch up Marshal, check in with Marshal, get permission to return to the ship. We'll descend down to 2,000 feet, report see you at 10, meaning see the ship at 10, switch up tower, and wait for the air boss, who's located up there in Pryfly, to give us the signal to Charlie. At that point, we'll lead our wingman into the break in accordance with CV NATOPS, Case 1 procedures, and we'll come down and land. We get aboard, we'll taxi right back to the CAT, and then immediately turn downwind for another trap or two. So these are generally fun. If you get to do them in the fleet, you can get a lot of traps in a short amount of time. It's all about the number of traps that you get. You want to be a Centurion at least, because you get a cool patch for your flight jacket. Centurion is you have 100 traps on a carrier. So as you remember, if you saw my Mooch's DCS rig episode, I have the Verpal Tomcat stick for my DCS stick, which is great. It's the exact replica of the stick that you see here. And included in that is, you see me depressing the nose wheel steering button. And as I cycle it, the light comes on and off, indicating that nose wheel steering is engaged or not. So we want to engage nose wheel steering. Last thing to note before we start taxiing is the wings are currently in oversweep. And the oversweep position is where the wings are over the horizontal stabs for storage. This is the position we select in flight. So as we approach the CAT, we will take the wings out of oversweep and get them all the way forward and in auto. So let's go ahead and taxi. Nose wheel steering engaged, off the brakes, advancing the throttles for a nice judicious taxi. So we'll start to...
Rolling.
We're going to go off CAT 2. Now in the real fleet, you don't taxi anywhere without a director, so we wouldn't have done that first part without a taxi director. So here we see the yellow shirt on the CAT telling us to come forward. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the HUD brightness down a little bit because it's distorting him. So he just gave us the signals to spread the wings. So To get out of oversweep, move the handle forward, put it down, close, cover. As you see, we have a wing sweep and a flap light. So the way you put that out is push the master reset, lights go out. What that does is it moves the spider detent all the way forward when you push master reset, and that engages the handle. So now the wings and the computer that controls the wings are in sync. As you see, we've got the wings all the way forward and the flaps are down. At this point, we finish the takeoff checks. So adjuster would say wings, and I'd say 20 degrees in auto. Flaps and slats down. Spoilers in anti-skid. And I say spoiler module is on, spoiler brake off. You see that right here. Trim is set, 0, 0, and 2 degrees nose up. And the last two items are controls and warning lights. So once I'm handed off to the shooter, I will wipe out the controls, make sure they're free, and I will do one last look for our telepanel to make sure we don't have any lights. So meanwhile, the director has given us the signal to drop our launch bar, which means kneel. So you can see the airplane compresses, and one of the deck guys will put the launch bar down. Now the director moves over to my right, and you can see this is a DCS artificiality. It jumps into the shuttle and on the cat track, so that wouldn't happen in real life. So we're going to taxi forward into the holdback and the shuttle. I'll give you the external view of what this looks like. Okay, good. Okay, shooter saying, I gotcha. So I'm disconnecting nose gear steering. Power's coming up. Look for the 100% RPM. So in the B model of the Tomcat with the F-110 motors, the GE motors, we do not do afterburner catch-outs. In the A, you do afterburner catch-outs. So power's all the way up. So now we wipe out the controls in a very judicious manner. So we go forward, aft, left, all spoilers are up, right, all spoilers are up, left rudder, right rudder. Telelight is clear. I'm ready, you ready, Jester? He says yes, so we go ahead and salute. So Cat 2 will do a right-hand clearing turn. Touching the deck. Good shot. Set the attitude, clearing turn, gear coming. Flaps coming. And back to BRC. One of the small boys. So climbing up. No power. Climbing up to 10,000 feet. So I'll have Jester switch up button 16, which is Marshall.
Copy that.
Marshall 010. Marking mops 157414. Angels 10. State 9.2.
All right, so we'll put the needle on the nose and report C. Mom at 10. We'll start a descent. There she is. We'll wait for 10 to say see you. And now we'll drop the hook as well. preps for heading home. Okay, inside of 10, so we'll report to see you.
010. See you at 10.
Update state, switch down.
010. State 8.9.
Okay, so I'll direct Chester to switch.
Tower 010. Overhead Angels 3.5.
Roger.
State 8.9.
Okay, made the call before we were up to
010. Tower, Roger. BRC 179er. St. Louis, Charlie.
010.
All right, signals Charlie, so wings are coming back. We're going to descend down to 800 feet. BRC is 179. So I'll go ahead and turn back on. So we'll drive a mile or so upwind. Brake, throttles idle, speed brakes out, wings to auto. Just make sure the wings are moving, they are. 250 gear, 225 flaps. Power's coming back up. And we'll roll out on our reciprocal heading. Downwind. Trim's coming up. We're going to be at 600 feet. Engage DLC. DLC engaged. All right. Gears down, flaps down, hook is down, harness is log check. Yours trim is set, DLC is engaged, fuel is 8.3. So hold about 150 on downwind, and I'm low at the start. You see the white of the round down. Okay, that's looking good. So we'll start our turn. In F-14B NATOPS, they talk about 27 degrees angle of bank. It's a pretty specific number, so just about this much. Power coming up a little bit in the turn. VDI is not the best for determining angle of bank, but the standby gyro is. So as you can see, that's just shy of 30 degrees in angle of bank. Okay, there's the 90. Power's a little high. It wouldn't be about 3,500 pounds a side. And we're working high here. Get the turn in. Coming downhill. Waiting for the ball to come on the lens. There it is. Call the ball.
010. Tomcat ball 8.2.
So I'm trying to establish a 700 feet per minute rate of descent, so I'm working high, I'm working fast. Yep. That was a hook skip bolter because we were definitely in the wires. So we'll climb back up.
Bolter, bolter, let's go for another one.
Okay, Jester. Gotta have a Rio to say pithy things when you bolter. Driving back to the small boy at the 180. DLC is engaged again. Everything else is set. Trim is set. We didn't adjust the trim. What's up here? Okay. So it was not a bad pass altogether. Ideally, you have the trim set, so the only thing you have to adjust for glide slope is the power. You don't have to move the nose around. All right, so let's start our turn again. Okay, working fast, working high, about 100 feet high at the 90. Working fast again. Turn in, ball, call the ball.
010, Tomcat ball, 7.6.
You're lined up left.
Left this time. Okay.
You're lined up left.
And fast.
You're a little fast.
Board, so it flaps up.
3-wire, I'll take it.
Just directs the 3-wire, so nose wheel steering engaged. Wheel taxi right back to the cat. Okay, so we'll get back through the takeoff checks. Fuel is 7.4, canopy's down still. I'm still armed top and bottom. SAS remains all on. Master test off. Bidirectional pump is normal. Wings are 20 degrees and auto. Flaps coming down. Spoilers remain in spoiler module on. Spoiler brakes off. Trim needs to be reset. This is a big gotcha. So there was a RAG student who didn't reset his trim after landing, and his nose went real high, real fast off the cat for his next shot during CQ. So trim is reset, and then we'll check the controls and the instruments as we did before once the shooter's got us. So he's given us the kneel signal, so we'll do that. And then we'll jump onto the, there we go, it's DCS artificiality. So here we go again, into the holdback and the shuttle. And this time we will not do a clearing turn. We'll make sure there's nobody on downwind, and we'll turn immediately downwind to crank out another trap. This is what makes a bag X fun. Nose wheel steering is disengaged for the wipeout. All right, shooter's got us. Giving us the run it up signal. So going to the mill stops. There's 100%. So forward, aft, left. The spoilers are up. Right. All the spoilers are up. Left rudder, right rudder. The lights. Instruments look good. I'm ready. Jester, you ready? Jester is ready. I will salute the cat officer. Touching the deck. Good shot. Set 10 degrees again. Hook's coming down. Don't see anybody on downwind. Extend a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of comfort time. Climb up to 600 feet. And now we'll turn downwind. Once we get on downwind, we'll re-engage DLC and put the boards out. Speed brakes. Trim's coming back to landing trim, which is about 10 degrees nose up. Okay, there's 600 feet. There's the round down. Go ahead and start our turn. So you're looking for about 400 feet per minute rate of descent between the 180 and the 90, and then 700 feet per minute after that. You should get the ball. Watch your indexers, watch your angle of attack. Should be at 15 units all the way around. Turn in. Sure the climb is no bueno. Seem overpowered. Okay, ball's on the lens. I'll call the ball.
010. Tomcat ball. 6.9.
Okay, I'm high. Screaming downhill. Catch the rate of descent. Okay, on glide slope. A little fast. High, keep it down, Power's coming on.
So cool, we're the only guys in the squadron who grabbed the one wire.
Yep, thank you, Jester. Alright, so let's raise the flaps. Nose gear steering engaged. Let's go right back to the cat. Sunset is starting to creep in here, so we'll make this our last one. Okay, stop them. Again, takeoff checks. Fuel is 6,600 pounds. Canopy's down. Still, seat remains arm, top, and bottom. Stab-og all on. Master test remains off. Bite eye is normal. And all the instruments look nominal. Wings, 20 degrees in auto. Flaps coming down. Flaps are down, indicating down. Spoilers, anti-skid, spoiler modules on. Spoiler brakes are off. Trim, again running the trim back to 2 degrees. Nose up. Okay. And the rest will happen after we get handed off to the shooter. Okay, he's giving us the Neo signal again, our launch bar down. So here we go. Okay, shifted over onto the cat, taxiing forward. Shooter's got us. Running them up, all the way to mill power. RPM's coming up. Okay, wiping them out. Forward, aft, left, right, left rudder, right rudder. The lights, instruments are good. I'm ready. Jester, you ready? Jester says he's ready. After that, I'm saluting. Again, we will do no clearing turn. We'll climb straight away to turn downwind for part of our CQ evolution. Touch the deck. Good shot. Set 10-degree pitch attitude. Fighting the single engine. Guarding the single engine. Hook's coming down. Climbing up to 600 feet. Put the trim back up a little bit. And turn it down. All right, one more pass before we get our slider in wardroom 1. Let's try to make it a good one. Okay, boards coming out. DLC engaged. Trim coming up a little more. Downwind heading is 020. A little wide of beam. There's the small board. We should be flying overhead this morning, right? Altitude is good, speed is good, power set at 4,000 pounds side. There's There's the round down, so we're starting our turn. So gear down, flaps down, hook is down, harness is locked, fuel is 6,100 pounds. Trim is set, DLC engaged. 90. Turn in. Climbing coming out of the turn. Reestablish VSI where we want it, and the airspeed will go a little fast. Okay, low start. Following lens. Call it.
010. Tomcat ball. 6.1.
Okay, don't drive it high. That's high, so working high, working off, coming down. Power's on all the way up. Thumb of the board's in. The board. Okay, flaps coming up.
Beautiful 3-wire.
Yeah, not exactly beautiful, is it? Working high. Okay, wings are coming aft. Visual steering engaged. We'll clear the landing area. All right. Call that a day. So you see there. Work your procedures, takeoff checks, landing checks, try to hit your numbers, and the rest is repetitions, because you can't do the nation's bidding if you can't get off and back on the carrier in naval aviation. So this is what separates the men from the boys among fighter pilots and military aviators. Again, DCS is not a game, it's a simulator. This is super realistic. And so you can see I'm, struggling with my numbers as well from time to time. Get the airplane aboard, but it's not always pretty. So I'm working on my technique and making sure that I'm hitting my numbers. But I know the numbers I'm trying to hit, and that's the beginning of being able to do it safely and consistently every time. All right, hopefully this has helped. Next we'll do in-flight refueling with the next Mooch DCS hack episode. And then we'll go on and do some BVR timelines and some actual missions and other stuff like that. We'll also do a Case 3 episode, a nighttime launch and recovery episode of the boat. So keep at it, have fun. All right, hope to fly a mission with you guys very soon.